I'm wondering, will opening new universities solve a lot of the problems that the universities are being faced with?
Absolutely not. It's actually going to compound the problems.
How?
You
Tell me.
know, in major universities over the world, do up to two or three streams of admission every year.
Mm.
When you guarantee that there's stability in the system, you can mop up people who are outside the universities in streams of maybe two or three every year, which will also guarantee that spaces will be available for students. So, building new universities or creating new universities has never been a solution for improving on intake. Because the problem of starting a university, one new university, perhaps, is just like what you can do to four existing universities and expand their capacity to say 50,000 students. If you do that in a new university, you won't be able to get 1,000 students because the amount of money that is needed to put infrastructure in place is humongous. So if you are going to start a new university, for example, in Nigeria, given the value of naira now against international currencies, I will imagine that a university to start would probably need between 20 and 30 billion naira to put basic infrastructure in place. And if you're going to do that, you need a period of 2 to 3 years for you to spend that money and put those infrastructure on ground and have admissions to start. Of course, you're going to start your admission based on what you have on ground. But then the second point is universities don't run on infrastructure alone. Universities are also run by the academics you have. As a result of the policies of government in education in Nigeria, many people have shipped overseas. So there is massive shortage of academics even in the existing universities. So if you're starting a new university, you're asking yourself, where are we going to get manpower to do that? You will expect that in a nation with very good reward system, you can solve your manpower problem by getting lecturers from overseas. And we had experience of this earlier. In the 70s and the 80s, my generation in secondary school, you will see that we had a lot of teachers from India, from Ghana, and some other African countries who were teaching at secondary schools. The reason then was because our reward system was fair enough to attract those people to Nigeria. So even the universities, we had lecturers in the universities in Nigeria in the 80s as well, because our reward system could afford them some living standard. Now we are the least, I think we are the least remunerated lecturers in the world, because with the devastation in our foreign exchange now, a young lecturer probably receives about $47 as a monthly salary, and nobody is going to leave any nation to come into your country to do that. So your best bet is to rely on your indigenous manpower. And that manpower, we don't have sufficient manpower in this country. In that category, people at least with a master's degree who can start as junior lecturers, move on into their terminal degrees, have PhDs, and progress to become professors in the system. We don't have enough. And even that's why you hear that across Nigeria, many universities are now crying out that they are losing their staff because of IPPIS implementation. So the way to government is solving that problem is to announce that they are going to create more universities, and you ask yourself, where are they going to get the manpower to run those universities from? So it's not a problem, but it shows one thing, that what we often do in this country is just talk and not do anything to solve our problems. If government was to set aside money to start universities the way universities are usually created, then you see that 10% of what they will be spending to do this in the next 3 years will be far more beneficial to put them in the existing universities and expand capacity in those universities, and the benefits that will come from that expansion will far outweigh benefits you get by creating new universities. But we see now that is a scramble for the national cake. So political actors, from at least from the senatorial level to people in the federal cabinet and big political gladiators, what they do now is to ensure that they put federal institutions in their environment as a way of expanding their own economy without thinking about how to fund it or how to cause a rapid development in those areas. So it's a scramble for national cake. Some interested parties want to just have these institutions. Whether or not they are funded is not an issue. Of course, you recall that in 2011, I think they're about 2011, yes, when 12 universities were established by just announcement. Many of them still do not have law establishing them up till today. At least there are about two or three of them that I know that do not have laws establishing them, and they are running as federal government universities. So it's quite a pity that this is happening, but it's only the politicians who can answer or explain exactly why they are doing this to education in Nigeria.